Hi, it's Brad Bordessa from Ukulele.com, and in this lesson I'm going to show you how to play basic vibratos. There are two kinds of vibratos. There is a normal vibrato, which is more of a guitar style that you might see a blues or rock guitarist play. It's like, what Clapton uses. And then there's also a classical vibrato, which is a lot more subtle. To play the normal style vibrato, what you're going to do is you're going to fret a note, just like you normally would, except what you want to do is you want to try and keep your hand kind of loose on the neck. Or, if you're kind of gutsy, you can even let your thumb all the way off the neck so the neck is just floating. And then, what you're going to do is you kind of use the rotation of your wrist to help pivot your finger up and down the fret. With the normal vibrato, you're actually moving up and down on the fret. With the classical vibrato, you go the other way. So, if you hold a note, let's try it with your first finger at first maybe, and then you pick and you rotate your wrist back and forth. If you watch somebody like B.B. King, they'll do it and their hand will move a ton, and he calls it a butterfly vibrato because his hand looks like the wings of a butterfly. He's moving so fast and so wide. But it doesn't need to be that obvious. And then if you are going to float your thumb out, maybe you don't need quite so much wrist and you can just bounce the neck a little bit more. So in this case, I'm more moving like this instead of rotating your wrist. There's a little bit of wrist rotation, but not as much. Just moving up and down, and then my thumb's not even on the neck. So you can play this on any fret, anywhere, with different fingers. And then there's the classical vibrato, and this is where you're going to be taking your finger, and instead of moving up and down on the fret, you're moving side to side, going with the string. So, when you play this kind of vibrato, what you're doing is you're rolling the string down off the fret, and then you're pulling it back up onto the fret, and maybe a little bit sharper than it was. You can't go any flatter with the other kind of normal vibrato. With the classical vibrato, you can actually drop the pitch of the string down, and when you do that, instead of being just your note being here and playing the vibrato up, 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 instead you can play it where it goes down and up, so maybe it sounds a little bit more natural. But anyways, classical vibrato, you're going to pick the note, and then you move your hand towards the bridge, and that, while holding the note, is going to push down the pitch of the string. You hear it dropping a little bit. And then you come back the same way and you go towards the nut, and this brings the string sharp as you pull the string this way over the fret. So together it goes like, but of course you do it faster normally. It has a really different sound. But if you listen to somebody like Brittany Paiva, she uses it a lot and uses it very well, I think. But if you watch any of her videos, she almost never plays the normal guitar style vibrato. It's more of the really classical kind of thing, and you can kind of see how she's working her hand. There you have it. Those are vibratos, and they can very well portray a more emotional side of your music. They can really, instead of it just being a flat note, you can take that note and add vibrato, and all of a sudden it's a totally different beast. I really like the sound of vibrato, so I have to work on myself to make sure I don't use it too much, because sometimes using it without makes more of an impact than using it with, especially if you have been playing a lot of notes with vibrato. So, until next time, thank you for watching, please subscribe, and I'm out of here.